I don't know about y'all, but for me, when it comes to manga versus anime, there's always one thing that I will always stand by since I was a kid. If I have to choose, I choose manga over anime pretty much every time. I just really like that it's directly from the author, you know, and it's not like secondhand drawn and animated by a different studio that's, you know, not the author. Not to say that anime is bad, I still enjoy anime. But for this video, I want to go through animes and see how accurate is certain animes to the manga. Specifically talking about the accuracy of the art style, because that's honestly the main reason why I like manga and prefer manga more over anime. There's of course plenty of anime out there with amazing animation, amazing art, but you really can't get a studio to replicate the original art of the authors, right? And that's the thing I love about manga, is that all these authors' art is so unique and it's so nice to look at. So I picked some pretty big series, and today I'm gonna see how accurate the anime's art is to the manga. So I have a tier list here just to categorize it a little bit. The series I've chosen is pretty big series, you can see down there, and the ranking goes, as y'all can see, S is 90 to 100% accurate, which I feel like we're rarely gonna have any. A is 80 to 90%, and then the rest is, as you can see. I'm stating this right now though because I feel like a lot of people will have misinterpretations of this video. This is not to say anime is better than manga or manga is better than anime. I'm just comparing the accuracy of art styles pretty much. You can like whatever you like. So first up, I'm gonna talk about Bleach. I've always loved Kubo's art style. I think his art is one of the best art in all of manga and anime. It is super unique. The funny thing about Kubo's art though is that his characters do have low-key of a same face syndrome, meaning a lot of characters, if you take away their hair and stuff, they do have like similar face shape, mouth, nose, whatever, right? Not completely, of course, you can still tell the difference between the characters, but the funny thing about Bleach is that they are all very sexy, right? The girls, the guys, they just are always looking sexy for some reason. They all got the face card, they could be models. Now it's weird though, because early Bleach, I don't think he had that problem. I think everybody relatively look different from each other. It's a little bit later when Bleach / Kubo, I feel like, started making his art like really insane in the manga. That's when like the faces started looking similar. Overall, I love Bleach art, but for Bleach, I feel like we got to talk about three different things: early Bleach, middle Bleach, and then 1000-Year Blood War Bleach, right? In my opinion, the most accurate the anime has been to the manga is probably 1000-Year Blood War. I think in 1000-Year Blood War, the characters look very similar to Kubo's original art. I think the atmosphere looks really good. The line work, the specific coloring that they use in 1000-Year Blood War just makes Bleach more Bleach, in my opinion. Beginning and middle of Bleach does capture Bleach just a little bit, but something about it doesn't look super accurate. It does capture the characters, but the coloring just isn't really there. The lines aren't really there, and then the shading also isn't really there. A detail why I really like manga, right, is because of the roughness of the manga. In anime format, the line is too clean, the shadows are too clean, and like you don't get that same feel, you know? I'm not saying 1000-Year Blood War is like 100% accurate to the Bleach manga, but it is pretty close compared to the early Bleach and middle Bleach. But overall, as Bleach, I'm gonna put it in A. It is relatively accurate, but it's not S. It's not completely accurate as an overall standing. Next up, we have my favorite series of all time, freaking One Piece. Now, One Piece is hard to talk about since it's been so long, right? Oda himself has gone through a couple changes in his art style. The anime has definitely gone through a decent amount of art style changes as well, so it's a little hard to talk about as an overall. One Piece has also gained a significant amount in terms of like budget, right? So the animation has been going off freaking insane since Wano. The art style has also been super similar to Oda's, but in terms of everything pretty much before Wano, I don't think it's accurate to Oda's art. Not really, like, at all. Maybe not at all, but before Wano, I feel like the only arc that has been similar to Oda's art was probably like Enies Lobby, Water 7, Thriller Bark. I think at that time, Oda's art and the anime art looked pretty similar, but I feel like everything else, it's like 50-60% there in terms of accuracy. Oda's art, of course, is super unique. I love looking at Oda's art. His double cover spreads are always super clean to look at. His coloring is so good too, and I don't think the anime can replicate his coloring like pretty much at all. The animation and art style right now in Egghead is insane. Like, it's absolutely insane, which also includes Wano, and I feel like, yeah, as of recent, it has been really close to Oda's art style. I say it's close to Bleach in terms of, oh yes, it's recently similar, but since One Piece has been so long, I feel like the overall accuracy is way lower. I think the anime's accuracy of art style to Oda's art style is very low. I think it's a 60-70% accuracy. Even the current anime, which I keep saying it is insane art and anime, right? It's insane, but it's insane in a way where it's still not similar. Like, it's good in its own format, but it's not similar to Oda's art style. I don't know. Next up, let's talk about Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball has been going on for quite a bit now, so it is a little bit hard to talk about, but I feel like the Dragon Ball anime versus manga topic, in my opinion, is like the complete opposite of what I've been saying for Bleach and One Piece. For me, I feel like the anime was the most similar to Dragon Ball, like before Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super, I feel like, has been too clean. Sometimes it just straight up doesn't even look good, but also keeping in mind that there's Toyotaro's art as well. I love both Toriyama's art and Toyotaro's art for Dragon Ball, but in my opinion, yeah, Dragon Ball Super has been the most least Dragon Ball looking in terms of accuracy from the anime to the manga. Yeah, to me, it's just too clean. Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball OG, I think just has that like old looking style to it that fits Toriyama's art really, really well. But I feel like none of the Dragon Ball anime has really looked similar to Toyotaro's art, in my opinion. So Dragon Ball's in this like half and half, so I don't know. I also think the coloring and stuff in like the original Dragon Ball Z and OG Dragon Ball was really, really good in the anime. Like, I think it captured it really nicely. I'm gonna say overall Dragon Ball is gonna be like in the B tier in terms of accuracy, 70-80% accurate. Like I said, I think Dragon Ball is just too split in the middle, where like everything after Super just doesn't really look like Toyotaro's art or Toriyama's art. It's just its own thing. Then let's talk about My Hero. My Hero, Horikoshi's art. I literally just went to an exhibition of his like manga art. Bro, Horikoshi is probably one of the best manga artists of all time. Like, his art is insane. He has so many good scenes. His lines, his coloring, his everything is so good. And I generally don't think any of the anime scenes has like even came close to Horikoshi's art. The anime's art is good, it's accurate, like it's My Hero, but I think Horikoshi's art is just that good that I don't think any other artist can replicate. He just does everything and beyond. He does everything in plus ultra. He colors the character, he colors the buildings, the background. He does everything, and it's so hard to replicate that in anime. So yes, I don't think the anime is like close in terms of art style for accuracy to the manga at all, but I still think I'm gonna put it in A. I think overall it is still pretty accurate, but I just don't think that it'll ever be like similar to Horikoshi's art. It just won't. Now we have Death Note, manga versus anime, and this one I might have said the last one, My Hero, it wasn't accurate. I think this one is not accurate at all. Like, it's there, you can see the characters, but again, I don't know the author's name. I know there's two authors, but the Death Note author slash artist just has insane art, and you really, really cannot replicate that at all either. Honestly, the anime just doesn't really look that good. For Death Note, in my opinion, I think there's not really much to say. I generally just don't think the anime is very accurate to the manga, like at all. Well, maybe at all is a little too harsh, because I do think that it does capture the color pretty well. I know manga doesn't have color, but like how I was talking about like Bleach's 1000-Year Blood War coloring and One Piece like Egghead Wano coloring, I think the coloring in Death Note matches like its vibe pretty well. But in terms of like the character like line work and everything else, it's very generic. So Death Note honestly is going to D tier for me. Now I know I put 0% as D tier. I don't literally mean it's like not accurate at all, but yeah, D tier, it's like it's really just not accurate. Like, other studio could definitely animate it better, in my opinion. Then let's talk about Hunter x Hunter. A little hard to talk about too, because there's, you know, the remake and then the super old version or whatever. I never watched the super old version. I only watched the like remake. Now, in my opinion, the remake looks good, but the old version or whatever looks more similar. His art is very old, and the old anime I feel like fits it more. The new anime is definitely more clean, better looking, but it's not accurate. It's too clean. But even when I do look at the old anime, it is more accurate, but it's still not completely accurate. Again, I think his art is pretty freaking good. Like, certain blood splattered scenes and whatnot, like the lines are just rough when Gon is screaming. Like, all these scenes like can't be replicated in anime. I think Hunter x Hunter is gonna be A. I think Hunter x Hunter is pretty accurate. Clearly not 100% accurate. I think I said it earlier, right? I just don't think anything's gonna be an S tier, but yeah, A is probably going to be the best. It's going to be the most accurate too in terms of anime versus manga. Then let's talk about Attack on Titan. I am also not a very big fan of the Attack on Titan manga. Attack on Titan might be the only series where ever since I was a kid and it first came out, it's the only series that I've kept up only anime and just watched it seasonal by seasonal for over like 10 years, I think. I tried reading the manga, which is just, first of all, paragraphs on paragraphs, and two, I'm just not a big fan of the art style. I think the anime though has amazing art, amazing animation. I know it dipped down in terms of animation because they were taking way too long to animate like the first couple seasons, right? And those first couple seasons looked freaking amazing. But even the later seasons where it didn't look as good, it still looked pretty good in my opinion. So Attack on Titan for me might be like the opposite of everything else, where sometimes I said like, oh, the anime doesn't look as good as the manga, right? To me, Attack on Titan, the anime looks way better than the manga, which is still like not accurate, right? Like, yes, it looks better, but it means that it's not accurate to the manga at all. For me, I'm gonna put honestly Attack on Titan in the D tier. Again, not 0%, it's not accurate at all, and in a different sense, because I think the anime looks a lot better than the manga in my opinion. But again, this is all art. Again, I want to preface this, like, this is all art, it's all opinion based, so this is what my opinion is. Don't get me wrong, because it is weird. I don't like the manga art for Attack on Titan much. The Titan scenes in the manga was always cool, but it was always like the human scenes. Something about the humans look really off in the manga to me. I don't know. Let's talk about Naruto, both the OG Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. Naruto's a big one for me. I generally like the manga way more. I don't think the anime does it justice at all. I think for me of why I like manga more is that like something about just the roughness of the manga just looks better. Naruto anime just looks too clean. The lines are too clean. The shadow, the coloring is just too clean. Naruto in my opinion never got the like correct color treatment either. I think Naruto's coloring is very just like, it's just there. It's not bad, but it's just there. But when you see Kishimoto's like coloring or just like line work, it hits different. It looks so good. Also, I'm not talking about Boruto, by the way. This is not included. I'm just talking about purely Naruto, OG, and Shippuden. Overall, I think it's accurate in the sense of like, it's simply just accurate, but it's not like perfect accurate. Compared to the other series, I just don't think there's ever a moment in time in Naruto where it was just like the most accurate it has been to the manga. Some stuff like One Piece or Bleach or Hunter x Hunter, there's times where it does look similar to the manga. Naruto has sadly never gotten that. It's honestly kind of sad, but I think it's overall accurate in terms of like basic accurate. Then let's talk about Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, Jujutsu Kaisen overall just has amazing everything. For me, low-key, Jujutsu Kaisen anime looks like they finish the author's art. The author's art is of course amazing, but sometimes it just never looks finished. I don't know how to explain it. The tiny bit that the author hasn't done yet, the anime finished it up for him, like Gege's art for him. So honestly, for me, the Jujutsu Kaisen anime feels similar and also better. But I think we all know Jujutsu Kaisen's like anime is just really good art in general, no matter which arc it is. It's also the most recent in times in terms of like technology and like art and all that, right? So I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect this, but I generally think Jujutsu Kaisen's like accuracy might be S tier. It's like, it's similar and also better, but not like better to the point where it's completely different like Dragon Ball, right? Like Dragon Ball, some people can say Dragon Ball Super and Daima is really good art, but it's, in my opinion, still, it's sure better, but not similar enough. Jujutsu Kaisen, it's like similar and better and still similar. I don't know. Then the last series I want to talk about today is Demon Slayer. And Demon Slayer. Some people don't mind the manga art. I personally mind it. I'm not a big fan of Demon Slayer art, manga art at all. It's not for me. I think it looks pretty goofy half the time. But as we all know, the anime paints like a completely different picture. The anime's art, the anime's animation is stupidly good, to say the least. Like, it is beyond this world good. I think it does a similar thing to what I said about Jujutsu Kaisen, where it's like it finishes the author's art and better. But it's different than Jujutsu Kaisen in my opinion, where yes, it finishes the author's art and better, but like way better. And y'all know how I said from the other series, like, oh, sometimes it's too clean and it doesn't look as good as the manga, right? This one I go completely against that. Like, it's so clean, it's so nice to look at compared to like some of the weird like sketches that you see in the manga, but it's too much better that I think it's like pretty different from the manga. So in terms of accuracy, I think I'm gonna have to put it at D as well. I think it's too good for the manga. So yeah, this is my final tier list and what I think like each series is in terms of accuracy from the anime to the manga. Again, just completely talking about the art of it. I'm not talking about like the story or whatever. And yeah, this was hard to talk about because it's art, you know, like it's purely preference and just what everybody thinks on their own. But yeah, I always wanted to talk about this because like for the longest time, if anybody ever asked me, like I generally just always prefer manga most of the time. No matter how clean, how cool the anime, the art is, like say One Piece, right? The animation and the art is going off right now. Same with Bleach. I love looking at it, but if I had to choose, I will always choose the manga more. I just really love the original artwork from the author. I think it just looks really good and it can't be replicated in anime. But yeah, not all the time though, because like I said, some anime does look better than the manga. So yeah, what do y'all think? Do y'all like the manga more than the anime in terms of art like I do, or the other way around? And yeah, that's it. What do y'all think? Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Don't take it too serious. Again, it's art, it's preference, and yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Peace.